Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit of an experiment. So I'm sure that you have all heard of the new Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This is what it looks like. I've been loving this. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I saw swatches online and I was like, oh, just another warm palette. But this is really, really good. This is what it looks like. If you guys have not seen it, I'm sure you have, because YouTube has been bombarded with videos about this palette. So I was a little bit unsure if I was gonna film on it, but I have heard a lot of people saying that it's a dupe for the NYX Ultimate palette in Warm Neutral. So I want to compare them. I have not swatched them side by side. I have not compared them at all. We're going to do it together. And if they are dupes, that's awesome, because this is around $50. This is around, I want to say $15 to $20. And this is really good. I have used this palette numerous times. This is what it looks like. It's a really, really nice palette. I talked about it on Snapchat before. I think I did a post on Instagram about it when I first got it. So it is a really nice palette either way. Even if it's not a dupe for the Naked Heat palette, it's still a kick-ass little palette. So I am wearing the Naked Heat palette on my eyes today, and I'll zoom in and show you guys what look I have going on. I mainly used this shade Cayenne, and I have Dirty Talk all over my lid, and then Lumbre, oh gosh. This shade right here is, oh my gosh, it is so gorgeous. It's gold, but it's like a very warm, almost like a fiery gold. It is stunning. It's my favorite shade in the palette. My eyeliner, which I got a lot of questions the other day when I posted my, what video was it? When I posted my Nars Power Matte swatch video, I was wearing the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencil in Torch. And some people said, it looks like you have an eye infection, but some people really loved it. I love this. It's a very warm, like orangey reddish brown. And I know when you do like orange or red in your waterline, it can kind of look like your eyes are irritated. But I love this so much. So this is what I had on. Today, I'm wearing the other new Urban Decay eyeliner in Alkaline. This is a gorgeous like eggplant purple. Oh, it's so pretty. I love this so much. I feel like Urban Decay has kind of changed the formulation of their eyeliners. These are so good. They were good before, but now I feel like they're so good. Like, these are all that I've been using. So that is not what this video is about though. So let me get them out of the way. Let's get started. So the Urban Decay palette has 12 shades. The NYX palette has 16 shades. So I'm just going to start at the beginning and I'm going to work my way down. Like, I don't even know exactly which ones are dupes, but I'm thinking that I'll be able to tell just by looking at them. I wanted this video to be authentic. I didn't want to know which shadows were dupes. I wanted to figure it out the way you guys would figure it out at home. Like, you just open both palettes and you kind of look and you're like, okay, these look similar, these look similar. Hopefully it's not a cluster, you know what. We'll see. So the first shade is Ounce, and this is the shade that I use on my brow bone. It's actually a gorgeous eyeshadow. It has a little tiny bit of a sheen to it, but just enough. I don't like to use like a flat matte on my brow bone. I like it to have a little something, and this is perfect. It's what I have on today. I love it. So I am thinking that the shade that's going to be a dupe, let me turn my lighting down. Hold on. Okay, that should be better. I know it's a little bit darker, but I feel like you can see the shades better. I feel like the one that's going to be a dupe is the second one right here. So let me swatch them side by side and I will insert a close-up. They're very similar. The NYX one is a little bit more white. This is the NYX one. This is the Urban Decay one. So they are very close. I do think I prefer the Urban Decay one. It's a little bit warmer and not as like white toned, but I mean, they are very close. Like I said, I'm gonna keep the swatches on so that we can kind of flash them up at the end and see just how close we are. I just took my watch off, so I have a little bit of a watch mark. So the second shade is called Chaser. This is the shade that I use in my brow bone. I mean, not my brow bone, in my crease. So this shade, oh, it's so gorgeous. It's a little bit powdery, but on the eyes it works beautifully. Like these mattes just blend so nicely. So that's what it looks like. It's very, very light, very close to my skin tone, so you may not even be able to see it. Which one are they? Maybe they're talking about this one. Second row, second one over, this guy right here. I'm thinking that's the one that they're comparing. Okay, so the one in the NYX palette is a little bit warmer. They're not spot on, but they are very, very close. And I feel like on the eye, this is the NYX one, this is the Urban Decay one. I feel like on the eye, they would be pretty much, they would look pretty much the same. Third shade is called Sauced, and this is a perfect warm, orangey, like rusty shade for in the crease. It's not too intense. It's just, oh, it's so gorgeous. Like these two mixed together, Chaser and Sauced, perfection. Okay, let's swatch this little guy. That shade is gorgeous. I love that so much. Okay, and the one that they are comparing it to. See, I don't know, because I feel like there's nothing in here that looks exactly like that. Okay, so maybe it's this shade right here, but this one is not as warm. Yeah, it's definitely like a cool toned version of it. So they're definitely not dupes. I don't think it's this one down here, because this one looks more like some of the other shades that we're gonna get to. So I feel like that one doesn't really have a dupe in the NYX palette. The next one is called Low Blow, and it's this guy right here. Another beautiful, just like warm brown. Very, very warm brown. So that's what it looks like right there. It's these mattes, I'm telling you, these mattes are so good. So I kind of feel like the NYX palette is lacking some of the really warm matte shades that are in the Heat palette. I don't know which one. I don't think it's this one yet. I keep wanting to go to this shade. Let me swatch it side by side. If I'm wrong, I'll take it off. Oh wait, they are kind of close. Okay, so maybe that's the one that they're comparing. I mean, it's not a dupe. They're close, but they're definitely not dupes. The NYX one is way more reddish. So they're definitely not dupes, but I feel like that's the only shade that is close. So the next shade is the one I was telling you guys about, Lumbre. I'm gonna go with Lumbre. This shade is like seriously good. Perfect. I love that shade so much. The one in the NYX palette, like that shade is not in the NYX palette. So, I don't know. I don't even know which shade to choose, because that shade or anything remotely close to it is not in this palette. So I don't get why people are saying this palette is like a perfect dupe. I don't see it. Maybe this gold shade up at the top, I'm gonna swatch it beside it, but I know they're not dupes. Like that's just a traditional gold. Okay, I'm just gonna interject. This is later Nicole who's done filming and just realized that she made a mistake. So, Lumbre, the shade that we're currently talking about, or we were talking about. I'm trying to like go back in time and it's not working. Okay, so here's Lumbre. Now, when I look at this NYX palette, this shade right here does not look anything like it. It looks very brown and just very plain. It doesn't look like it has that like duochrome effect to it. But when I swatch it beside Lumbre, girl, they are kind of close. Now the NYX one is way more like cool toned. It's not as warm and fiery as Lumbre, but I'm pretty sure that's the shade that we should have been using. My bad. I'm so sorry. That's a pretty good similarity. They're similar. They're definitely not dupes, but they're kind of close. Okay, back to the video. So we're going to move on to He Devil. this deep, stunning, like rusty red. It's beautiful. It blends so nicely. And I want to go back to this one on the bottom. That's the one that I was kind of saving for He Devil. So I'm going to do a side by side and we'll see. See, they're kind of close, but they're not the same shade. The Urban Decay one is way more pigmented and it's more reddish. And then I'm also going to swatch this one right beside it just so you guys can see. This is just a total experiment. This is what I would do if my camera wasn't on and I was just like playing around. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, okay. That one is a dupe. They are very, very similar. Okay, I will give you that one. That is a pretty good match for He Devil. Okay. The next one is Dirty Talk. This is the shade that I have all over my lid and it is gorgeous. It's such a nice, it's like a soft metallic. Oh shoot, look how pigmented that is. Okay, maybe it's not a soft metallic. Holy crap, that's like intense. And I'm pretty sure they're comparing it to this guy. Let me get a clean finger first off. Let's see if we have a dupe. Okay, they're very close. The next one is not quite as metallic, but you can build it up and they look pretty spot on. That's actually a really, really good match. The next shade is Scorched. This is similar to Dirty Talk. It's a little bit deeper and it has glitter in it. It's beautiful. Every shade in this palette is beautiful. This one is very powdery though. You do have to be careful. But look how pretty that is. And looking at the NYX palette, there's nothing in here that looks like that shade. Nothing at all. So I wouldn't even know what to compare to it because it's not in here. So I don't think these palettes are dupes. I think they're very close, but I don't think they're dupes. The next shade is Cayenne. Another deep, like this one's almost like a burnt umber shade. I love this shade. I have it on the outer part of my lid. Look how gorgeous that is. That shade is amazing. So what are we gonna go with? So the one that I see in the NYX palette again is this one down here at the bottom. That's the only one that's close because the one right beside it, this guy, that one's way too, like, it's way too brown. It doesn't have enough red in it. So I feel like there's no exact dupe in the NYX palette unless I repeat shades. Like if I use a shade that we already compared to another one, then yeah, we might have something close. Like if I go into this one right here, I think we already used that one though, but we're gonna use it again. So yeah, they're close, but they are very, very close. Okay. All right, NYX, I see you. You're keeping up. You're keeping up, NYX. The next shade is called Enfuego, and this one's like a deep burgundy almost, like a warm burgundy. So that is that guy right there. And then in the NYX palette, I know this one. This guy right here, that is the one. I know these are going to be very similar. I can see it just by looking at them. Very close. The NYX one is a tad bit more brown, but they are almost perfect dupes. The next shade is Ashes, and this one is like a deep eggplant purple, kind of like that eyeliner that I showed you guys, very similar. Look how gorgeous and pigmented that is. Oh my gosh. So in the NYX palette, I don't think there's a dupe. There's this guy right here, which, yeah, that's probably the closest one. They're not dupes. They're kind of, sort of similar. The NYX one is not as pigmented. It's not as brown. It's more like gray brown. So that one doesn't have a perfect dupe. And then the last shade is called Ember. This is a beautiful shade. I don't know where I'm going to swatch it, but this is one of my favorite shades in the palette. I'm just going to go right here. Oh my gosh, you guys, when you see the close-up of this, it's stunning. And I like that when you put it on the eye, it doesn't blend out to black. A lot of shades like this do that. This one keeps its color. It is so pretty. In the NYX palette, I'm not seeing anything that looks like that. So maybe I'll try this one. I don't know. Like, I'm just totally winging this. I feel like this is what people would do if they were comparing the two. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, that's actually closer than I thought. Wow. I'm shocked. I did not think that there was a shade in this palette that was going to even come close. This guy, this is the one that I swatched. That one, in the pan, it does not look like it's going to have that like fiery undertone to it, but it does. It's not as intense as the Urban Decay one, but it is close. Okay, I was totally wrong. I did not think that was going to happen. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm very happily shocked. Okay, so in conclusion, I think these are extremely similar. I feel like if you don't want to spend the money on the Urban Decay one, you would be perfectly fine going with the NYX Warm Neutrals. Very, very close. I don't know, I'm kind of surprised. Before I swatched them side by side, I really thought they were going to be more different. I mean, there was one or two shades where there wasn't like a perfect dupe, but overall, this little palette definitely stands up to the Heat palette. If you want to save money, this one is really good. These shadows are very blendable, very easy to work with, and they're not quite as intense as the Urban Decay ones, which to some people would be a bad thing, but especially if you're a beginner, you don't have to be as afraid. Like, some of these are so intense that when you put it on, you're like, oh crap, and you're like blending and blending, and they do blend out flawlessly. These are pigmented, but some of the matte shades are a little softer, so it's not as scary. So if you're a beginner, I would recommend going with the NYX one, just because I think you'll have an easier time with it. So you guys, that's gonna do it for today. I feel like we done good. We done good. I'm still really surprised by this right here. NYX, you called my bluff, girl. You called my bluff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe took something away from it. If not, I hope it was entertaining. So I love you guys. Thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Oh, that's the one that I was supposed to be comparing to Lumbre. Oh man, why is it so hot in here? Oh my gosh. Look at my hair. I cannot believe that I missed that. But they're not dupes. They're not dupes. They're close. You ain't getting no cigar, girl. Back up off me. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Why do I look like a wet dog? Have a great day. Bye. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Looking good, girl. Lumbre. Lumbre. Why does my camera keep shutting off? Stop! Stopping! Lumbre, take that shit to the bank. Deposit it into your checking, girl. Yeah, Lumbre stands all by herself. Lumbre is out there like, bitch, try to find a dupe for me. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. So thumbs up this video, subscribe to... This choker is literally choking me. I am really a fan of this. I'm a fan of this. I think...